Hey, welcome to Your Best Podcast, your place for conversation, information, and experts to help you live your next best. Today, we have a coach, Umar, with us, and we're going to get into some juicy stuff that's going to help you get over the fear of selling.
Teemaree, thank you so much for the invitation. And, our goal here today is to add value to your listeners. And because selling is what makes the world go round. You can have the best idea to cure cancer or write a new book. But if you can't sell that idea, it never happens and that dies with you. And you and I today get to help people bring their ideas to life and change the world.
That's right. And so first, we're going to start off with this question. Do you consider yourself a natural salesman? Like, has this come to you ever since you were little and you can basically, sell a pen to a receptionist?
No, not at all. It's selling is a skill just like any other skill, and you can get better at it. And sure, there are people that are naturally inclined to be sociable and directed and get people to say a yes. But what's really interesting is we think of salespeople. This is what I thought of salespeople. Hey, how are you? My name's Umar, and you need this, and da-da-da. I'm not going to let you go till you buy. And that's not sales at all. I used to run a video store in like a gazillion years ago. And this guy was a sales manager at Hitachi, Canada. He would come and sell us. And he was the most mild-mannered salesperson ever. And the interesting thing was he had a part-time job at an appliance store. So he worked there part-time, and he was also the number one salesperson there. And he was not salesy and he wasn't pushy. In fact, he was introverted. And that was an eye-opener for me. It's like, oh my God, I had no idea. I thought you had to be this extraordinary extrovert to create sales. And that's not true.
Yes, I'm so glad that you mentioned that because I've experienced both tones or both methods. And I know for me, I had that same thought. I associated selling with this schmarmy, icky, relentless, not let you go. And now you feel a little trapped. And it just really colored how I felt about presenting offers because I didn't want to be that person. Right. And then in my own trajectory of learning, because as one does, right, you start your business, you want to help or serve in some way. And so you're like, well, I got to get out there. And I have to admit, I unfortunately spent some time under that, taking the wrong advice and trying methods that are too harsh and too aggressive, which felt bad for me and also just caused a really, really bad energy. I want to feel proud about what I'm doing. And so it felt good to finally come back full circle again and come back to my true center, which is really just, and I always used to think this ever since I was a little girl. I used to say, well, why don't they just tell people like what it is? Why don't they just say, like, oh, I have this, it can do, in a gentle way. So I'm glad that you also had a trajectory of your own. You weren't this natural salesman. Not that there's anything wrong with talking to someone who has a natural gift, but it helps us all see that, yes, you can learn and find your zone or stroke of genius in this area. So what are some traits that you feel good sales people have?
What was that?
What are
Listening is a really, really good trait.
Very good.
but before we go there, and I'm going to answer those traits, which are the best traits, but I think one of the things we need to really figure out is this, that there is a small percentage of salespeople, I'm not sure what that number is, that will try and take advantage of you and rip you off and sell you something that's less than optimal for you. It's all about them and their commission. But for most salespeople, and most companies, what they're doing is they're creating a product or a service to help people solve a problem that they have.
Sure.
And once we realize, hey, I'm in the helping business, I happen to do it through selling, that it just changes the way you view that endeavor completely.
Tired of paying for ads that disappear? At Teemaree Media, your message lives on. Sponsor a segment in our uplifting shows or podcasts and enjoy lasting, thoughtful visibility, not just another scroll. Visit teemareemedia.com to get started.
Woohoo! If you realize, oh my God, this school board has a problem with students not learning at the optimal level, if we give them this high-tech equipment, that their students will actually do better, build stronger lives and stronger families and communities. That's what I'm doing by doing that. Then we go in, not as in, I have to sell this, is I have to understand their problem and show them how this could be the ideal solution to get more successful students. And when you do that, it takes all the pressure off. It's like, oh, I'm in the helping business, not in the hustling business.
That's absolutely right. And I feel that, what happens is that there's always positive and negative in everything. So yes, there are perhaps a small sliver of people that have a negative, or they're in the hustle. They're in the hustle business, right? Most, I think what happens is that pressure does set in. Even if someone is working for a large company in which they get paid to sell, there still is a pressure to hit a quota, meet some sort of mark, get better from there. And then if someone is in their own business, what'll happen is, they're out on their own, and they are really, it's like that meme or that video will say, when you do business with a small business owner, someone is actually rejoicing behind the scenes because it's more personal. So I think that pressure does absolutely set in, and that is what may cause some of that grasping tone in selling. But ultimately, you're absolutely right. Being able to look at it as, I want to share this because I know it's so good, and I want you or whomever it may be to feel that good, really causes everything to subside and that goodness to come through.
It has that potential, but here's what's happening, because we have this conscious awareness of what's going on. I'm really enjoying this interview, but there could be a part of me internally going, did I say the right thing? Are people going to like me? By the way, it's not happening for me, but it happens for a lot of people.
Sure.
So what's happening is we have an internal dialogue that's going on. And Teemaree, do you ever have that negative voice in your head speaking?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I do.
We all do, right? So the question is, where does that voice come from? So at the heart of who we are as human beings is where we hold our beliefs about coffee, tea, communication, sales, money, life, marriage, parenthood. We have a ton of beliefs. And what's interesting about beliefs around selling, most of those beliefs in our society are negative. I was doing this presentation, and I had two flip charts on the stage, one on one side of the room and one on the other side of the room. So I asked the audience, hundreds of salespeople, please finish this sentence for me. Salespeople are, somebody says outgoing. So I go to one of the flip charts with a green pen, write outgoing. Then I say, okay, salespeople are driven, helpful, understanding. And then someone says, they are sleazy. I go to the other flip chart in a red marker, write down sleazy, untrustworthy, slimy. Guess which list was much, much larger than the other, the red list, the negative list, because that brings up the beliefs we have. And these are all salespeople, and these people are not like that till somebody says, wait a minute, that's not us. And it's true, it's not us, but even as salespeople, we have those beliefs that society has about selling. And you may have done this. I've certainly done this. You go to a place to go buy something, and somebody comes over and says, hey, how are you? And you go, no, just looking, even though I need help to figure out what I want. And I catch myself saying, oh, I'm indoctrinated to have that knee-jerk response that salespeople are bad, but that is not true. So that's one area. Kind of thoughts on that before I tell you the other area of beliefs that causes sales problems. Any comments on that statement I made about those negative beliefs that we all hold around selling in society?
Well, sure. I think we do hold those things just as a race kind of consciousness. And we definitely all get into those situations in which we're put off, even though we may need help just because we're trying to be cautious. So what are the traits you feel good salespeople have? Because I really do think that specifically can help a lot of folks to either identify in themselves or maybe agree, maybe disagree. So I'd love to know.
Absolutely. So I'm going to give you the traits, and then I'm going to give you the second big ugly thing that stops us from being great salespeople and show you guys an exercise to overcome that, or at least identify it. So here are the traits that you need to be a great salesperson. Number one, listening is such an incredibly important trait to have, not only in sales, but in your family life, with your wife, with your kids, with your parents, with a stranger on the bus. Because there's so few people in this world that listen actively, that we're just most of the time thinking about what we want to say while the other person is talking. We're not really listening. So listening is by far the most important. The second thing is very much the ability to read body language when someone is talking. Because sometimes someone is saying something, they're saying, I really want to buy this thing, but their head is shaking as a no. And it's like, wait a minute, there's a disconnect. What you're saying is, I want to go forward, but subtly those micro movements that I don't want to do this. So listening is one, paying attention to their body language is another. And three, just really learning a simple process for selling. And the simple process is this: 100%, you need to build trust with the person that you are engaging in a sales conversation. The more trust that you build, the less that they are fearful of you, and the more they share about what's really going on. Because it's like playing a game of poker. And what happens is you've got somebody holding their cards right. You just see the backs of the cards and you don't see what's happening. The more trust that you build, they turn that hand around so you can see exactly what's going on in their company and exactly what the problem is. And then you become a trusted advisor. So listening, paying attention to body language, and building trust. And then just having a simple process for selling that's designed to uncover problems and help them find solutions, not I'm going to trick them with this one phrase that's so magical that they'll want to buy. None of that stuff works for long. Do those simple things and you'll be an amazing salesperson. More importantly, that these people are going to refer you to others. And anytime they need something, they're going to call you because you're part of their trusted advisor network, and they know you're not going to send them down the wrong path.
I love it. I love it because it's so true. It's the difference between the special statement, the special funnel, the special, right? Versus I'm genuinely wanting to share about what I have that is helpful to you because I've learned that it can help you, because I've learned that this can solve something for you, or it can change something for you in a positive way, or relieve something for you. This is a human interaction. Yes. Similar to networking. The term networking immediately is like, hey, I got to collect all this information and hey, yes. Versus it really is just getting to know someone and then discovering where together you can do something, or where you can help someone or refer them. It's really in what can I do for you? A collection of that type of energy, I find, than, hey, let me go and get a bunch of people to know me, So I love that you positioned it in that way.
So let me tell you a silly joke, then I'll show you that one thing I wanted to share with you guys. So, Teemaree, what is the difference between networking and not working? It turns out it's only one letter is different. And the reason I say that is the exact thing that you described is some people go to networking, and my goal is to make 3 friends today. Mm-hmm. Where I really understand what they're doing, what's going on, what stops them from achieving what they want to achieve. And that is one filter. The other one is, how many business cards can I collect? Hi, how are you? This is me. This is what I do. Here's my card. Who do you know? And those people are going to say, I'm going to throw this card away as soon as I get back. And another tip for networking is this, is let's say I find someone that's a plumber and they've got an issue with, getting more customers. And then I'm talking to somebody else in that networking area. And they say, one of the things that we really need to do is to add another water cooler because, the one we have is not working so well. Oh my God, you need to meet Paul. and I go over to the person I met. I do that introduction. As soon as I do that introduction, number one, I'm helping them solve a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, both of those people see me as, oh my God, this guy went out of his way to connect me with someone that can help me. And now I have two people out there in the world that want to help me grow my business because they feel obliged. He helped me. It's only natural that I help him. Kind of makes sense,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. It makes sense and it feels good. And it's a natural giving way to be remembered. It's natural because all the things happened, right? You listened to the people you were meeting. Then
Yes.
you wanted to serve. You said, I can bring these people together, or I can provide this connection or a referral or whatever it is. And so again, it takes it from a sometimes a lot of times, cold, quick, goal-oriented approach to a human, interactive, loving approach that activates all the centers, right? I'm listening, I'm talking, I'm feeling, I'm remembering, and it's natural. So I love that because sales oftentimes, does not feel natural. And so as we explore these ways, we go from the I should be afraid of selling, I should be afraid of networking, it's weird, it's odd, to actually, no, you know how to do this.
Absolutely.
If you can calm down and listen and just speak and connect, you're going to do great. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Awesome. So, okay.
So may I tell you a client story?
Uh-huh.
I had this gentleman come in, and if he goes to a networking event and people come to him, he has a great conversation and is a great networker and builds his business that way. But he said, Umar, I cannot go to somebody else and start talking to them. I'm just a wallflower there.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, okay, well, tell me about a particular time you went to a networking event and you wanted to go engage and you did not. He says, oh, just last week I was at a networking event and I saw someone and I wanted to go, but this uncomfortable feeling came up that said, no. They'll think you're an idiot. So I said, okay, in your mind's eye, go back to that event when you're at the networking event, see what you saw back then. He says, okay, I'm seeing it. Then he got to feel this uncomfortable feeling when he had that thought that, they're going to think I'm an idiot or I'm too pushy. And there's a tool from neuroscience. You can link that feeling to the unconscious mind that records everything. And as soon as I did that link for him, it went back to a childhood memory where he actually got this belief that blocked him. Where it took him to was he went from a rural high school in Maryland where they had 20 people in the high school to Baltimore where they had 1,500 people in his high school. And there's chaos everywhere. And he got on the school bus, went to school. That evening when he's coming home after school, there's like 50 buses there, doesn't know which one to get on. And this idiot, who turned out to be his best friend later on, said, oh, that's the bus you need to get on, intentionally putting him on the wrong bus. So he's on the bus, and the bus driver finally looks up at the rearview mirror and says, don't worry, kid, I'll get you home. And that's where he felt just lost, that I don't want to interact with anybody. And so he went back to that childhood experience, changed the belief around that. And he reported back, like the next time he went networking a couple of days later, oh my God, I'm going out, I'm talking to people, and I'm not that wallflower anymore. And that's been my life's mission, is how do we create change in people, not in months or years, but how do we create change like right now? And that's been my mission in life, is to let people know that change happens in a moment. Sometimes you might need to go for therapy for a year, but it's that one thing that the therapist said on that Thursday afternoon, before they said it, you were stuck. The moment they said it, something changed within you and you got unstuck. How do we get people to that change point? If we can do that, we give people the power of mindset. And that's how you build great human beings, but also phenomenal salespeople.
Yes, absolutely. You and I are definitely aligned on that. And, that's also part of my life's work as well with my TTJ method, similar to what you do with your app. I walk people through that same process. Same thing with my books. So
Nice.
my books, I don't necessarily tell them my personal stories in the books I've published to date. My books are literally, you can open to a page and you can drop into the sensation that, whether it is love or faith, you can drop in. And the reason for that is because I too share that belief. Yes, there are some things that we will need and we do need to revisit again. And we will have subconscious things that come up again. And so that is true. But I agree with you. We can have change immediately. We can immediately have a perspective, a new choice, a new experience, and it can be within moments. So I love that you share that and that you do that, because I know for me, what got me into providing my method and coaching and the things that I do was because, especially for adults, things are made so complicated. And,
Yes.
and I wanted to see adults have the joy and the immediate change that they desire, especially because, as adults, there's work and responsibilities and children and marriage and all these things pulling in all these different directions. So being able to say that thing that I still dream of, that thing I want to be, gosh, it's not going to take me years and months and 85 professionals and we'll see. I can get close now. I can experience it now. I love that you do that work as well. And I think it's just phenomenal because you're absolutely right. Look, having that fear, like your story, to have this gentleman be able to thrive in relations, but reaching out, that subconscious, that memory is still driving his feeling like he doesn't have it, but he does. Yeah. He did that whole time. Yes, I love it so much.
Yeah. So, Teemaree, let me tell you about this moment I had. It was in April 3rd, 2021. I was sitting in my house in Baltimore, and the thought occurred to me, have I made an impact in the world? And the answer was no. And I said, if I stay here in this comfortable house with my comfortable life and my comfortable clients, nothing is going to change. So within a month, I sold my house. I got rid of all my possessions, went down to 10 t-shirts, and started traveling the world, because that's what the ancients did. They went on a quest to discover what they really needed to do and what came out of that. And I'm actually ending the quest now. And along the way, found this amazing woman, and I've just been married 2 years now.
Congratulations.
Is something called Mindset Boosters. And Mindset Boosters is something you can put on your phone, and they use applied neuroscience and hypnosis in these short audio tracks. And so we've got a category called handling objections. Because if you look at salespeople, the sales process is plus or minus something like this. It's like getting the appointment, doing the presentation, handling objections, doing the close, deepening into the accounts, and getting referrals. And there's very few salespeople that are phenomenal at all five. Usually people have a weakness in one area or a few, but let's say you've got someone with a weakness in handling objections. They're about to get on a phone to do a sales presentation. They go to the app and they go to handling objections, and they listen to one of those tracks, and it could be 5 minutes. And for the next 2 hours, you can give me 20 objections, and I'm going to be like a tennis player. I'm just going to bounce it back to you, handle the objection. And at the end of handling that objection, I'm going to say something like, that's exactly why we should be working together. Or if someone's got an issue around money, because a lot of us have hangups around money, we're asking for the close, and asking for the money is the, Teemaree, would you like to buy our package? And the voice cracks, come on. Or, you know what percentage of salespeople, the number is insane, that will get the appointment, do the presentation, handle the objections, but on the close, they'll never ask for the sale. They'll talk around it because they feel uncomfortable. If I ask for the sale, you're going to think I'm a money grubber or greedy or whatever stuff's going on in our heads. And so let me take you through this simple little exercise, Teemaree. It's around money. And listeners and viewers, please go down this journey with me. This will help you identify where your financial thermostat is set. If it's set too low, that could be one of the reasons you don't sell at a higher level, is that you've got this internal governor. When you go go-karting, sometimes those go-karts don't go as fast as they could because they put something on the accelerator to stop you reaching maximum speed. You're doing the same with money. And this is how you uncover where your thermostat is set. Teemaree, would that be a useful thing to do?
Sure. Sure. We have time for
Okay,
this.
we'll make this quick. So, Teemaree, since you're our guinea pig for this little exercise, uh, take a deep breath in, everyone. Let it out slowly. And as you let it out slowly, I'm going to suggest how much your annual income should be. I'm going to start very low and work my way up. And just notice any thoughts, feelings, or sensations that come up for you. Your annual income should be $40,000 a year, $60,000 a year, $100,000 a year. Your annual income should be $150,000 a year, $250,000 a year, $500,000 a year, $1 million a year. Your annual income should be $10 million a year. So, Teemaree, when I said numbers that are way lower than you earn right now, what thoughts or feelings came up?
It's funny because at each level, I was like, I felt gratitude at each level. And as you went higher, the gratitude turned to excitement. I don't know.
Excellent.
That's how I was feeling, where it's like, okay. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Okay, that's cool. Ooh, that's fun. Ooh, now you're talking.
Now you're talking, right? So what happens for a lot of people is one of two things at the lower levels.
Yes.
Either they go, not me, don't care about it. Or some people actually get mad. It's like, how dare you suggest that's my income?
Mm.
And then I get close to what they're earning right now. And for a lot of people, they feel comfortable. It's like, it's okay. Not the best, but it's okay. Then I get slightly higher and they feel excitement. Oh my God, this is so exciting. And then when I get really high, for quite a few people, that inner voice comes in and says, oh my God, you'll be working all the time. And your kids are not going to have the parental guidance they need. They'll turn into drug addicts or whatever stories we tell ourselves. And then we notice where we feel comfortable, that's our financial thermostat. And one of the things we need to do as salespeople is go in and analyze where our thermostat is set. And that's one of the things the Mindset Boosters does, is helps you crank up the thermostat so your natural status goes up to a much higher level. Because whatever that thermostat's set to, if you earn more than it and it feels uncomfortable, people sabotage themselves and go back down, even though they really want to earn more. And if they go below what they earn, they automatically come up, change the job, whatever they need to do. So just by changing that financial thermostat to, let's say, $400,000 a year, you just naturally start operating at a much higher level without effort. And that's the magic of mindset. And that's the one thing we don't teach in university. And that's the one thing we should be teaching in elementary school.
Yes, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. It's definitely a journey for each person to remove the old stories, remove the hindrances, remove the blocked mindsets. And it's just a blockage. Often people will feel, I'm just this way. Actually, no.
Yeah.
It's just a stagnant memory or story that is causing you to feel that that's who you are. But ultimately, you are whoever you want to be. And that's actually good news, because then it's like, if I don't like having this low threshold in sales or money, I can learn to be more wealthy. I can learn to be a better salesperson. I can learn to have better relationships. But it is an effort, and it is there's a path to take in order to attain that, which I felt was good news when I discovered it. And which is why, this work and this opportunity to share these things with folks is so important to me, because it really is available for all of us. It does not matter where you start. It does not matter what your story was. If you want something, you can have it now. So I love that. I love that so much. Now, before we wrap, okay, what is your best tip for someone to get over the fear? One thing that can help many people to get over the fear of selling.
I think one of the ways to overcome the fear of selling before you get on a call that you're about to make, especially if it's an important one, in your mind, make a movie of you doing that call really, really well. And just by seeing that call went really, really well, then get on the call is something that your brain has already experienced. And then you just go in and it's just a matter of just going there. Whereas when you don't do that, in your head, what's happening is, and the trick is to ask yourself, I want to make a movie of this call going phenomenally well. And you do that consciously because for most people, they're already making a movie in their head. And the movie is, they don't like me. They're going to yell at me and they're going to say, what? You want to charge me that? You're an idiot. So by making a conscious movie, you're erasing the negative movie you didn't even know you had. That's going to help a lot. And I'll just add one last thing to something you had said, is that we all can get better. And the sad thing is this, when you talk to a lot of people, there's abilities to, disconnect from those bad memories and do better. And do you think Janet could do that? And Janet's one of their friends and they go, oh yeah, absolutely. Janet could do that. Do you think you could do that? And they go, no, I'm not sure I could do that. And sometimes we can see the truth when we're thinking about other people getting the change. But when it comes to ourselves, we have this block. And that's what we need to do, is remove that block. And when we remove that block, it opens up the world to you, because the maker didn't put you here to fail. The maker put you here to succeed. And all this stuff where we're like limiting ourselves, literally, we're limiting ourselves. It's not anybody else. It's us, right, baby.
That's right.
Be free.
That's right. That's right. Woohoo! That is right. And that's why we're here today. And that's why we have these wonderful things, which of course, everything will be in the show description. But Coach Umar, where can people connect with you more?
Best place to find me is mindsetboosters.com. And on LinkedIn is always cool. And the links will be down there. But Mindset Boosters has 140 audio programs that go from fear of asking for the sale, more confidence, losing anxiety. And there's a 7-day free trial. Go there, check it out. It'll change your life. Teemaree, thank you so much for allowing me to share this, and also this conversation that my hope is that it impacted some people and they realize that what fear? And they go out and do something freaking amazing.
Agreed. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Your Best Podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and even give us a review. And hey, don't forget, there are plenty of resources in the show notes for you. See you in the next episode.